I'm going to be talking to you about Ukie students and what we do for our student members. Fingers crossed you're all part of our network. If not, become one of us. Assimilate like the Borg in Star Trek and get involved. So I'm going to be talking to you about what student membership does, what Ukie do, a little bit about careers and games, and a little bit about statistics and stuff about the UK games industry. So hopefully this works. Yay! So instead of, from uni getting shit done by Delalo, it's kind of whilst you're at uni or just out of uni, these are all things you can do and make the most of your student membership. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an imposter. I didn't do a games degree. I'm really sorry. Please don't hate me forever. I did a philosophy degree and I was going to become a professor of political philosophy, and I wrote about anarchy, and I went to Denmark and spoke to loads of anarchists in a commune, and they all kind of live in the dirt, but I thought I'd work in games instead because games are shiny and I like shiny things and bears and fluffy animals, and there are lots of those in games because everyone makes lots of interesting games, and I'm obsessed with Red Dead Redemption, and there are lots of bears in there, so that's why, not the main reason why I'm working in games, but it's part of the factor. So I graduated last year, and I've been doing loads of internships whilst I was a student, which is the main reason why I got my current job, is because I was an intern, working minimum wage or unpaid, which was very fun, but really, really rewarding. I got loads of experiences that I wouldn't have got if I hadn't been working whilst I was a student. So I was actually an intern at Ukie like 3 years ago when I was a little baby, and I was running events, and I worked on the London Games Festival. We ran an art exhibition in City Hall. It was amazing. And then I worked at a children's charity, and then I worked at a digital marketing agency. So I know a little bit about marketing, fundraising, making people aware of what you're doing, and also lots of stuffing envelopes. So I don't really need that today, thank God. And 2 months ago, I transitioned into a new role. So originally, I was the community engagement assistant, and I worked with events and community and working with members. And now I'm a little bit more grown up. So my job title is quite boring and serious because I'm business gen, and I'm here for business, and all I do is business. So I'm now the commercial services coordinator, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So, like I said, I used to run events. I was the stand manager for Gamescom this year, which was really terrifying. I had a lot of arguments with German people about internet. And I run careers areas at EGX with my lovely colleague Sophie, who's just walked in the room. And I also run Ukie student membership with Sophie. So we're the coordinators for the programme. We're going to get to know all of you across the next year, and we're going to give you so many different things, and I'll tell you about that momentarily. And I also work with the Video Games Ambassador Scheme with STEMnet. So we've got about 250 people, including Mr. James Shaw, who's an amazing VGA, and we love him a lot. And these ambassadors go into schools, and they give workshops and talks about careers in games, and get all the lovely little boys and girls of the UK interested in careers in games and how to make games and design characters and do voiceover workshops, and it's really, really fun. So here's just some examples. Oh my God, that's you! Yeah, slightly different checked pattern. So we do careers areas at EGX and RESD, and we had talks about careers in games from loads of different people, kind of similar to today, where we've got all these amazing people coming in and giving you their experiences, and that's part of the VGA programme. So they're giving up their time to volunteer to talk about people. And I've done careers, panels, and loads of different things. So my job's really fun because it means that I get to work with loads of games businesses. So whilst I don't make games, which is really sad because I wish I could, but I get to work with businesses instead, and I get to know loads of different people in the community because the games community is so close-knit. And I get to work with big companies, small companies, companies you've heard of, companies you might not have heard of, but who are still equally as amazing. And it's really fun. So I'll tell you a little bit about Ukie and what we do. So we are the trade body for the games industry, which sounds quite official, but we're a really nice small group of people. And we represent all games publishers, developers, legal firms, PR agencies, universities, which are part of our student membership, and kind of everything in between. And it's our job to support, promote and grow the UK's games industry across the world, and basically make it so that the UK games industry is the #1 place to make your games. screw Canada. Canada's rubbish. The UK is amazing. And we rally for change to make the UK the best place in the whole world for games companies to come do business, make their games, do business deals, and interact with each other. So, for example, I think it was last year or the year before, my boss is going to kill me because I don't know when it was, there was tax relief which came in the UK, which now makes it easier for smaller game studios to make their games because you get 20% back on your money. I don't know, I can't remember. I wrote this at 2 o'clock this morning, don't forget that. And we also do a lot of promoting and defending the games industry in the media. So when a certain tabloid newspaper comes out with, video games killed my nan, it's our job to say, no, it didn't. It actually educated her, and now she plays Kinect Sports, and she's really fit, and her life's better for it. So we're trying to kind of promote the games industry, make the media and the wider kind of group of people in the UK aware of what the games industry does. It's a force for good. It does so many amazing things. It supports the economy. It supports students. It's a really good thing. And we work closely alongside government to make sure that we're represented at that level as well. So when people make decisions which affect the games industry, we are there saying, these are the things we think you should be doing. For all of these reasons, we've got the backing of our members to support what we're doing. And we run UK areas of game shows like Gamescom. So that I think this year we had 65 games businesses who went to Germany and did business and made like however many millions of pounds worth of deals. And it's Ukie's job to make it as easy as possible for these companies to do business because it's so important to them that they have that environment and that opportunity to do those deals. And we help games industry students, which is my job and Sophie's job, and we really love doing it. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And this is my boss in the middle at the Westminster reception last year. So we've got Justin Thompson MP, and then we've got, oh my God, I can't remember what they're called. Roy Stackhouse from Activision, and anyone help me with the other one? Rob Cooper from Ubisoft, thank you. Got to know it's Jaws there. So, let me tell you about Ukie Students and what it is that we do for you. So we've created Ukie Student Membership, and the whole aim of that is to bring education and industry together to help support you whilst you're studying and also whilst you've just graduated. And we really want you to succeed, and basically what we've put together is to give you the tools, resources, opportunities, a conference like this today, so that you can get the career of your dreams and you can be in the best possible situation when you graduate to pursue that job. And this is run in partnership with Next Gen Skills Academy and also the IGDA. So they support all the opportunities that we provide. They provide things themselves, and we work in a lovely little relationship with them to be able to offer things to you. And there are so many benefits, and I'll tell you all about those. So how does the scheme work? What is it that you get? So we've got a section of the Ukie website which is just for Ukie students. You get your own login, and it's all exclusive to you. And that means that you get access to resources which you wouldn't get if you weren't a Ukie student. So, for example, for this year, I've put together a series of interviews with leading people in the games industry. So far, there's one up about user behaviour and paper prototyping and playtesting with Seb Long from Play Research. And there's also one from Michelle Tanner, who's the head of PR and marketing at Ripstone. And they're talking about their career in games, what it is that they've done to pursue their career and all the opportunities that they want you to be aware of. And I've got one coming up with Tracy McGarrigan from Green Man Gaming. And basically it's going to cover all the different careers in games, all the things that you can be aware of, so many different opportunities which are available to you whilst you're studying that you can be made aware of. We have internships that we post throughout the year. So I collate all the internships that I can find through our members. We've got 270 members, and I put all these internships up on the website for you to look at. And we also get some exclusive ones throughout the year, so keep an eye out for those. And you also get a year's membership with IGDA students, which is so valuable. You get that for free as part of your membership. But that's not it. There's so much more. Then we have Game Jam. So we've run 2 game jams so far, and there'll be another one in kind of March or April time next year. And it's 36 hours, so basically you've got that period of time to make a game depending on the theme. that we set. And each team from each of our member universities gets paired up with a mentor from the games industry. So you'll have somebody there throughout the whole time who will coach you, guide you, give you ideas, tell you that that's good or that's bad, give you feedback, and just generally help you out. And these are all done remotely. So you can do it from your campus labs or do them from home. So it's really easy for you guys to get involved. And there are 3 teams of 6 students per university. We have to do a cap, otherwise I would be up forever testing a million games because we've got so many people who want to get involved. So this year's Students' Game Jam was our biggest one yet. We've only done 2, but technically it's the biggest one yet. And we had 14 teams from 6 universities competing against each other to win. And it was sponsored by Next Gen Skills Academy and also Square Enix Collective, who do a lot of work for students. And the theme was identity crisis, which was quite difficult, I thought. Usually with game jams, you get like nature, make a game about nature or something like that. And identity crisis was really challenging, but we had some really amazing games coming out of it. And we had mentors from State of Play, Unity, Creative Assembly, Sony, Mediatonic. Utopian World of Sandwiches is my favourite games company ever because of that name. I love sandwiches. And it was won by Goldsmiths with their game Codename Spy. So around the theme of identity crisis, they made this game where you're a spy and you need to kind of do different outfits for different scenarios because you have to find out the information. So you have to dress up as a waiter or you have to dress up as something else, and it was really funny. And because they're all programmers, none of them knew how to actually make anything in any kind of software. They created everything out of paper, scanned it, covered it in glitter, and they used that as all of their assets in the game. So it's an amazing kind of handmade feel to the whole game, which is why it won, because it was so original. And it just shows that you can win a game jam if you don't know how to draw. Basic drawing skills you can still win if you've got this amazing kind of creative idea. And so there are awards for, obviously, the best game, so the game that wins. There's an accessibility award, which is won by a team from Stafford University. Big it up. Yep. You guys made the best game, which is the most accessible for all players of any ability, which is something that's really important to us. And then we also had a Mentor of the Universe award, which was won by Woody from Utopian World of Sandwiches. He basically taught his team at Norwich how to code and coded the whole game for them, and he was there the whole time to support them. So we give a little bit back to the people who get involved as well on the mentor side. So that's the winning team. And then here's Woody with his trophy. He's very excited. We have the Ukie sponsorship program, which is my favourite part of Ukie students because we get to take some students to Gamescom with us. So we had one from Stafford, one from NFTS, and then one from Norwich. And they basically helped us to run the stand at Gamescom for a week. They helped build the stand, they got the opportunity to network with all the people. We had 65 games businesses there, and they could have a chat with all of them. And it was a really good experience for them, because how many times do you get to work at a trade show in your life? And it's through the Ukie sponsorship program and being a Ukie student that we were able to offer that to them. I usually use this kind of slide when I'm doing it to universities, not at a conference, but ta-da, we're doing a student conference, who knew? You guys definitely aren't here right now looking at this. So yeah, we run a student conference, as you currently know, or at least I hope that you were aware that we were at a conference. And we ran one last year, we're running one next year. It's the biggest event of the year for us because we get so many people all in one place learning about games and the games industry. We have webinars that we're going to run, I think, 4 or 6 times this year. We had a kind of a test run in April, which is about art and design in games. So we had Mediatonic, Lift London, which is a Microsoft studio, and Fat Pebble, talking about handmade games, art and animation in games. And that was really fun. I got referred to as Judy out of Richard and Judy of the games industry, and I really didn't appreciate that reference, because, you know, Judy's hair is so wrong. We give discounts, which are exclusive to Ukie students. So EGX and Res, everybody gets 10% off if you're a Ukie student. We had free passes to Pocket Game in Helsinki, the Women in Games Conference. Over the next year, there are going to be so many more discounts available to you. And let me talk now, so that's it for the Ukie student bit. Let me tell you a little bit about the UK games industry. 5 minutes to go, thank you. and why the UK is the best place to make and sell games. So we have the 6th largest industry in terms of consumer revenues. We've got the 2nd largest market in Europe, and it's worth a lot of money, £3.4 billion. And for the last 3 years, we've been the biggest entertainment sector, beating film, TV and music combined. That's how important the games industry is here, and that's why it's our job to make sure that the government, media, everybody else knows how important the games industry is. I've got some figures just to kind of reflect how important it is and what we're able to contribute. So the global games market is reached 35.5 billion 2 years ago, and it's forecast to reach 102.9 billion pounds in dollars in 2017. That's amazing. That's a lot of money. And esports is massively growing. In case you're not aware of it, it's huge in Korea and China, and it's currently growing in the West. So, for example, Dota 2 this year, the prize pool was $11 million. That's larger than the French Open in tennis. We support creative staff. We've got 9,896 creative staff working in game development studios in the UK. And we've also got the single biggest entertainment product. GTA 5 made $1 billion worldwide in 3 days, which is made in Scotland. So we've got so many amazing things going on in the UK games industry. And we also support the economy. We pay our taxes, we support the NHS, we support everything. So we contributed £429 million to the Exchequer in tax revenues in 2013. We've got hubs all across the UK, which support the local areas, and they provide so many different opportunities for people. And the industry is set to grow even more as these hubs develop. Oh my God, this is so amazing. And there are so many reasons why this has happened. You know, with the availability of mobile, tablet, PC gaming, you can develop so many more games than you were able to a couple of years ago. And again, the tax breaks make it easier for game studios to be set up and running. And as it was mentioned in the talk before, the player base is so diverse. We've basically got a 50-50 split between male and female. Average age is like 35 or 40. There are so many different people out there now who play games. It's not just one kind of stereotype. So nobody looks like this. Well, people do look like that. But there's nothing wrong with these kinds of players, but that's the stereotype that there is about gamers, and that's not true anymore. And so as the games diversify and as the players diversify, that stereotype is set to disappear. And there are loads of amazing games made in the UK, just a few examples. I'm not sure if I have much time. What are we doing for time? 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I can touch on careers very quickly. There are so many different things that you can do in the UK games industry. There's so much more to it than just the development side. There's publishing, there's marketing, there's PR, there's legal. It supports so many different kinds of roles. And you could work for a massive studio, an indie studio, you can make your own studio, you can work freelance. There are so many different opportunities. I looked for a business cat, and this was the best that I could do. Bear in mind, again, I wrote this at 2 o'clock in the morning. I thought that was hilarious. So you could do marketing, production, community management, you could be a digital manager, you could be a journalist, you could work in data. There are so many different roles out there which are available to you. So it might be that you want to be the next big game designer. It might be that that might not be the right path for you. You might be a really excellent community manager because you're great with people and you want to look after them. You want to support the community that works around games. You know, with esports on the rise, community managers are even more important because you're managing thousands of people that are watching your games. So just keep your mind open with all the different things that you might be able to do. I kind of mentioned that already, but you know, you can start up your own studio. There's so many different barriers which have been removed in the last couple of years to make it easier for you. Mentioned diversity as well. Diversity is a key strength of our industry. There are so many different skills, hard skills, soft skills, everything in between, which go into making a game. If you can design, that's brilliant, but how are you going to make that into a viable business or a viable game? You need to have so many different people bringing all these different skills together to make this perfect product. So as an industry and as a hybrid industry, we're very unique. So make sure that you're diverse, standing out from the crowd when you're doing your studies, and have lots of fun as well. That sounds good. So as I mentioned, jobs in the industry are as diverse as the games themselves. There are so many different games out there, so many different players out there, and so many different roles. So yeah, it's all good. And I think I'm out of time. Thanks for bearing with me. As I said, last minute dropout means I had to come up with that pretty quickly, so I hope I haven't been too horrifically awful for you all. And if you've got any questions, I'm going to be dotted around all day, so if you want to talk about Ukie students, cats, Bill Murray, anything, just come and grab me and I'm happy to have a chat. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you.